Alrighty, this is going to be slightly different for you who are accustomed to the GRG channel. This is your host, Dom. Tonight, it's going to be, yeah, like I say, a little different where, I myself am streaming from my personal PC. I do normally compete in these events, but my wheel is a little bit busted at the moment, so I won't be tonight. The person who normally streams Case, who you see will stream the endurance races, the qualifying and the endurance races, and some of the other ACC stuff. That's only done from Case's computer. However, she herself is racing in this as well. So, yeah, a little different. This is round 5 of the GRG TCR CUP. This is season 2 we're in now, so we've already done a season before of 8 races, and we're doing the second one now, another 8 races, and like I say, it's been going pretty good actually. I've been enjoying it. Fortunately, can't be competing tonight as the wheel's gone a bit skewed with overheating issues and the fan is sort of given up, which is unfortunate, but that's life, and hopefully I'll provide some interesting commentating from a driver's perspective as well tonight. 14 drivers join us here tonight, which is a little small event than we've seen for season 2. The sphere goes purple in 1 and 2, but no one's set the time just yet, so that'll be the same for everyone out there. We start the season with 22 cars. Obviously, as we get closer, as we go further into May now, as we've now entered May, exam season, of course, is pretty much height in Europe, so it is unfortunate someone is the first one to set a time. We look at the field there, it says the third sector is still ticking away, so a little confused by that. Now his time appears on the board, so if we click away from that, it's still saying, there we go. So hopefully that's figured itself out there. But yeah, a lot of people, exams and school commitments, work commitments, May is a busy month for a lot of people, so it's understandable why we've dipped a few. There's Rene, who won race 1 of round 4, 2 races obviously in each round. Rene won the first race in round 4 last week out. I'm not so sure who won the second race. It might have been Salman Sold actually, not too sure. Our title protagonists this season really are Salman Sold, John Mazurek and Romero Perez. Romero and John yet set times at the moment. Salman Sold, who is second place in the championship, I believe, has put himself onto pole already. Theo Ensbury and Martinez there are pretty close there. They're basically fighting for the last step on the podium. Those two along with myself, but I'm not racing, so that basically takes me out of championship contention. And along with Wazorek, I believe. I'm just gonna go bring up the race results myself so I can have a look and see what the championship standings are at the moment, which I just can't seem to find at the moment. This is weird. I've lost my way through the through the GRG Discord, and I don't really know where I'm looking. But yeah, so 10 minutes left to go in qualifying. Rennie with a purple sector 1 down in the middle sector though. Doubt he'll improve on this lap time here. Comes across the line, and no, he does not. Kiefer has gone up to P4 along with David Carmona, just a little ways away from there. Just ahead of Keishan Hall, Mike Trowicki, who's, oh my god, Rennie goes for quite the spin. Very easily done there at turn 1. There's quite a big sausage curve on the inside, and you do want to take that, but if you take too much, like you see there, Rene finding out the and Keith Hurst there, who does he? He does keep it there. That is some excellent car control there. Also turn 3 having a very similar curbing issue to turn 1 there. You take too much. You want to take as much as you can because it's the shortest and the quickest line through there, but you take too much. You can see there, Rennie will go over, and you saw how Keith was able to keep that car under control from falling over as such, and that was actually some really good car control from there. So I'm trying my best to find the race results channel. I found it now, that took me way too long to find. So, the championship standings are as followed. Ramiro Perez leads the way on 130 points after 4 rounds, 8 races, by 19 points over Salmon Styles, who's on 111. John Mazurek is next in third, 98. Rene Martinez, 85 in P4. Myself, 83, not racing, so I'll drop down the order there. And then 1 point behind me, Theodore Ensbury. And then there's a gap of 7 points to Casey Soul, which isn't huge, but we're now getting to stages where you are now 50 odd points away from Ramiro Perez, who is, well, leading the championship and a front runner in these cars here, so it's going to be tricky for them to really catch up over the second half of the season. Now, Mazurek purple in Sector 1 and Sector 2, they ain't going to be liking to see that. Person who is third in championship, purple in first and second sectors, a little bit sideways coming through the penultimate corner, garages up though, as he dives in for the final curb on the right hand side, gets the curb neatly on the outside. You don't want to take too much of that, it'll drag you out, and you'll get stuck on it and you have to ride the curb. It's really quite awkward. Comes across the line, only goes P3 though, and I say only, he's within the 10th, only just within the 10th, but he is within the 10th, the top 3 there, extremely close. But now Brent Bowman here in P4, really good showing by them at the moment, P14 in the championship at the moment, who's missed a couple of rounds, so that explains why they're a little further down the order in the championship, but purple in sectors 1 and 2, so the track is getting quicker and quicker, or the drivers are getting quicker and quicker, who knows. Times are improving massively, but it's the final sector from both Salmon and Theo that's really allowed their times to stay up there. Mazurek also purple in sector 1 and sector 2, but lost it in the final sector. We'll see if that's the same for the Hyundai here of Brent Bowman, then, who's from the dark side, which is an interesting name for sure. Comes across the line, hits that, and goes pole by 2 tenths. Not purple in the final sector, so again, purple in the final sector is finding very hard to come by. I think Summer Sold holds that at the moment, but 2 tenths, good margin. A little bit lazy into the final corner there for our championship leader there, Ramiro Perez. Comes in purple in sector 1, a little bit down in sector 2. He's currently on the board in P9, so he needs to improve himself a little bit there with only 6 minutes left to go here. And the qualifying for the first one comes across the line, goes P6. Still a second away though, it's not exactly what he wants there. John Mazurek purple in 1 and 2 once again, but will he lose it like he did the lap before in the final sector? As he comes across the line in a moment's time, he's 3 tenths away from Bowman, his fellow countryman, and goes pole. Purple in all 3 sectors there, and narrowly misses out, or narrowly beats out Bowman by 15 thousandths of a second. That's extremely close to the top 2 Americans there, followed by Salmasard, Theo, Ensbury and Rene Martinez. Then your top 5 championship leader Ramiro Perez down in P6, which isn't ideal for him. This could be a good shout then for John Mazurek and Salmon Stout, 3rd and 2nd in the championship respectively. Also Rene Martinez, who's 4th then. If they can get some points in the first race here over Ramiro, maybe capitalize again in the second race, that second race being a reverse top 10. Let's see if they can use that to their advantage. Casey Soul down in P8 at the moment. We're looking at Keith Hurst doing one of the Cupras. The 2 Cupras here today are fielded by Keith Hurst and Salmon Sold up in P3, which is the new addition, the new car, along with the Renault, which we didn't have in the last season. So let's see if some people are picking other cars, into P6 just overtakes Ramiro Perez there, gains a couple of attempts, and that's enough to move him up 1 more place. Rene Martinez purple in sector 1 as we come through the final corner of the 2nd sector. So across the line momentarily, there he goes. He's a 10th down though. It's his personal best though in the middle sector, which is promising, but he is a 10th down over the purple best sector. Whoever has set that purple, I'm not too sure. It is, well, actually no, it was John, but Salman Sard, we've actually missed that. Salman Sard going to the pole position by 1.5 tenths there over Mazurek, and you see the smoke shots there from Rene Martinez there. The Renault's looking good today, 2nd, 4th and 5th and 6th now has come on, that goes to 5th. And Christian Castro down in P13 is also a Renault to P5, switches places again with his countryman there. The 2 Renaults going side by side. Look at this little gaggle of cars here. We have the two Audis, Mike Trowicki, Keishan Hall, and I'm not quite sure who that was who just killed away, but 3 cars all in the same space of track there. It really isn't ideal when you're in qualifying. You need to get yourself your own clean bit of space, unless you know you're a little bit slow and you're trying to use that person up ahead of you to pull you along. Keith Hurst purple in sector 1, a little bit down, but it's a personal best in sector 2, second away. It's really the final sector where these guys are really falling away there. Martinez, Kimona, Hurst, and below as it comes across the line. So if he rectifies that final sector issues, comes across the line, and to P5 a little bit, yeah, indeed he has. Still losing 5/10 of a second in the final sector, but much better than his previous laps up to P5. Look at Sam Sardin, he's one of the ones in this queue here, taking a huge slipstream, but he's going to be quicker than both these Audis here. Those Audis languishing down in 10th and 11th. So even though he'll have a lovely slipstream all the way up down to, oh, as he goes a little bit too far on the curls, we now have look at Keishan Hall. All of these guys get slipstream off each other, but they're just going to hold each other up. Keishan Hall, he was only 11 thousandths down in sector 1, probably due to that slipstream helping him from his Audi teammate, but goes to the inside, and this is just going to cost you time now on your lap. He may still be up on his personal best, but still you have to negotiate that car, and that's just extra hassle you don't want to do. Have to deal with as he actually gets past Solomon, not his Audi teammate there. So into the last 1 minute 50 of this qualifying session, John Wazorek, Casey Soul, and Evan Gramke are all in the pits, which means they won't be improving their qualifying positions. They can go no further. John Wazorek will not be challenging for pole this time around, but Bowman, Ensbury, and Keith Hurst are probably the likely candidates for those who probably could take pole away from Somersault. Keishan Hall, who's actually set a very good second sector as well, really improving, but throws it away in the final sector, in the final corner there, and actually trying to cut off Solomon there from getting a better run, but I doubt Solomon will be improving this lap either. Look at them rubbing a little bit friendly rubs there, and a little bit more contact. It is the final lap for them, so it doesn't really matter. They won't be able to send another lap in because due to the way RaceRoom operates, once the time hits 0, the session ends. Not like in real life where you get to finish the lap you're on, the session just ends. So they both knew they were on their final laps anyway. Salman not able to improve. The top 5 all in the pit. So we've got Rene, Romero, Mike, Romero who's down in P7. Mike, who's a new addition here. Romero goes wide out the penultimate corner, and that's his lap over. Mike and Ryan Przewalski in P14. So look at Rene Martinez then, P6, 6/10 of a way. Bad qualifying then. Well, I say bad, he's in the mid, he's right in the middle of the pack, but P7 for Romero Perez is not great. Mike Trowicki's out on the lap, but with 23 seconds left to go, he will not be able to make the end of the lap, and that will be his qualifying over. So as the timer ticks down, we'll bring up the results there. There you go. So it's a 1-2 for the team GRG boys. We've got a couple of NARs in here with Theodore Ensbury and Evan Gramke. We have someone's email address there, so if you want to message Christian Castro, there's his email address, which is slightly peculiar. A couple of GRG eSports there with Casey Solomon, Mike Trowicki, obviously the team GRGs, and Keith Hurst, GRG eSports as well. Got a bit of a brand identity crisis there. So now we have 54 seconds on the clock, as we're just going to bring up that apparently for some odd reason. I want, what do I want? I want that. That's what I want. We're going to do that, and then we're going to do that. Boom. There we go. We're just going to hold this placeholder here, you know, whilst we wait for the session to turn down. And cars are coming onto the grid. 24 seconds left to go now, as we'll switch back. And that was the most useless placeholder I've ever done, but you know, I'll use that for the future. Here we go then, as we bring the volume back then for you guys. The lights are ready to go out then, and it'll be Salmasod who leads the grid, but it's a good start by the second place man, John Wazorek. Immediately someone going to the inside to try and cover off from the Renault that's about to charge down the inside, and surely he will. No, backs out of it and puts it up on the curb and 2 wheels immediately. That took all of about 5 seconds for some car to get up on two wheels. Look at the three Renaults going. They are pushing their way up immediately. Brent Bowman again, extremely lucky there, and gaining a couple of spots there, but the Renaults will fight back. Some side you see at the front of your picture then has lucked his way almost into a very clean and easy start. Look at, he's already made 2 seconds. These guys are fighting immediately here. No respite already. Wazoric gets himself back up into P2, but is under pressure from Martinez, who looks to the inside. Will he make a move down to turn 4? He does. He looks through it, takes the inside. Wazoric cuts the nose off almost, but he's going to be on the outside here. And will he get pushed out wide, or will he be able to hold it for the inside for the following left-hander for turn 6? Indeed he will. He will hold on for P2 for now. Safe for now. There's a bit of contact there, a little bit. He got up on the curb, the rear went around, but he's still able to hold P2, and down the inside goes Bowman. Not this time, and down goes the inside of Rene there. Pushes Wazoric out the way. Bit more, just sort of picked him up and moved his ass out the way there. Wazoric is not going to be happy with that one whatsoever. That allows Bowman and Perez up to P4. That's really good for him in this title championship fight then. Rene sending it down the inside a little too aggressively, hitting the rear of Wazoric and rubbing into racing and TCRs. And we do like to see a little bit of rubbing, a little bit of bumping, but when you bump someone and physically push them out of the way, that's a little too far. Brent Bowman coming under pressure there from Rera Perez, who's coming under pressure coincidentally from Theodore Ensry, trying to find his, and up on the curbing there goes Perez. Tried to take P3, couldn't make it stick. Two-wheeled moments in 2 laps there. Oh my days, they're struggling out there today. They're all pushing ever so hard there. They just pushing way too hard and getting up on the curb, which is really not what they want to be doing. Keishan Hall up to P5, trying to get around the outside of Theodore Ensbury, and does so. May have the better line there as Casey Soul then the Lincoln Co. The big Chinese brick goes wide then. Romero Perez back down to P8 then. Not a good start for him then. Look at the line of cars here. The slipstream that the entire first sector provides as someone goes deep down and inside. That's Trawicki, who misses his braking point there and straight to the gravel. Really hard to get out the gravel in these cars. He's going to drop right down to the back of the field, and that is his chance at a top 10 finish pretty much over there unless something else happens. Looking here at John Wazoric, who got shuffled down the order by Rene Martinez, is trying to make up for lost time here. He's got Casey Soul right behind him, along with Romero Perez, who's obviously the main one, well, the leader of the championship and his main protagonist in the fight here, along with Sam Massad, who is leading the race by 4.2 seconds. It's a really clean start for the leading Cupra then, trying to get around the outside of Keith Hurst. Can't do it, tries to make the switch back, can't do it there either. Kimona going a bit wide, shows a nose to the inside, runs that curbing on the inside and the outside, has to stay behind this time around. Like I said, the slipstreaming around here for the entire first sector allows all the cars to remain as close as they are. You know, if you lose a little bit of time through the mid-sector, you have this straight, the second straight, and then the third straight before turn 4 to regain all that time you've lost. As the Alpha in the background there of Evan Gramke goes a little bit wide there, gains himself a slowdown penalty. See, here comes the trainer cars, headed here by David Kimona, 1.5 seconds, a gap. He has deficit to Theodore Ensry. Round to the outside goes Wazoric. As they all concertina up then, and there's a car around, that's Theodore Ensry. Not sure what's happened to him. It looks like he's been turned, possibly. Maybe by Keishan Hall, that was the person he was sort of around with. Kimona gets through unscathed. Keith Hurst now under pressure from Wazoric to the outside will go to number 33. Indeed, he gets that done really late on the brakes, manages to carry the momentum, but Keith tried to come back there, made a little bit of contact with the right rear quarter panel of John Wazoric, and that's all the case needs to get through then. Loses 2 positions in one corner, then down the inside goes Romero Perez. He's trying to capitalize on Keith being slow as well. Can't quite make it this time around. He pushes too hard, and to the inside goes Ryan. Tried to look to the inside there. It's really something about the way these cars drive is that if you lose any little bit of momentum, that is you almost you screw yourself over by losing that little bit of momentum. You need that momentum to carry on pushing. If you check up on another car and have to slow down whilst trying to make a move, it's going to slow you right down, and it leaves you susceptible to an attack from somewhere else. Like you see here, Case and John Wazoric trying to go at each other here. Case runs wide, and here comes Keith once again. He'll have the inside line for turn 1, but will he be alongside enough? I don't think so. He'll have to back out of it. Nope, he tries to stick the nose in, backs out of it. The final dying moment there with Perez, and once again GRG going wide through turn number 1 then. Not quite sure what happened there, or not sure why he's struggling so much into turn 1, but alas, it is Perez down in P9 here, trying to put that pressure on Keith Hurst, and in the meantime getting pressured by Ryan Przewalski, and along with Christian Castro there. The sole VW in this race, the number 12 there on your screen just behind Romeo Perez, and the sole Lincoln Co at the front of your picture there, the 68. I myself normally run the Lincoln Co, but alas, I'm commentating, so no Lincoln Co for me, only one today. The top two are trying to have a little bit of a battle. They're closing in. The last lap for Brent Bowman was 1.5 tenths quicker than Rene's, so maybe that will come in to fruition in the future. We'll come back to that one, but Casey Soul still trying to put that pressure on John Mazurek, and he's not going to be liking having that car right behind him. Sure, we know Casey is always a little bit softer on the side of inviting their way into a bit of a dive bomb. She's very keen, very fond of them, and a bit elbows out, we could say, about Case, but half the time it's pretty much fair anyway. So, and that's what we like about TCR's rubbing his racing. A good launch out the final corner for all three of the cars. You see Romero goes a little bit skew-whiffed there with a bit of a slide on X. You see what I meant about getting up on the curb there. It will really send the rear out, and so easy to spin down the inside goes Casey Soul. Misses the curb there. Make sure she doesn't go up on two wheels like we see Ryan there in the background. Number 3 for the two-wheeled shenanigans in this race, but Casey running a little too much of a compromised line down into turn 1. That's allowed Resort to take the inside for turn number 3 then. And Keith Hurst having to defend from Romeo Perez. They go side by side by side. Perez trying to get that switch back, but got held up there by Keith Hurst, and these four will continue all the way down to turn 4. So we're into the, as we've done the first 7.5 minutes here, we've got 12.5 to go, plus that final lap to the outside. Once again goes Case. Can she make it stick, similar to what John's been doing around the outside? Not this time. Runs a wheel in the gravel, and that will allow both Keith and Romero surely through. She'll try to hold on around the outside. We'll have the inside for the final corner, has to back out. Hasn't got the overspeed this time around. Keith Hurst then next in line to go for John Mazurek, who's gone wide through turn number 6, and that allows the 99 down the inside. He's going to run it round the outside. Surely not. Will he get pushed out wide? No. Keith gives him the racing room. Almost. They make contact there, coming through the right hander. I don't think Keith really expected John to be there, and to be honest, I didn't expect John to be there at all. Amazing that he was able to hold it round the outside there for so long. A little bit of contact there. I don't think Keith really knew he was there. Was already counter defend, then through the final corner, runs the curb a little too much, runs wide then. Will that allow Perez to get down the inside into turn 1? They have the slipstream now. Keith Hurst getting himself a slowdown penalty, not ideal for him. That Honda sort of lacking in the straight line, it seems. He, even with the slipstream, isn't really being able to pull out. Tries to go down the inside there, couldn't quite do it. Now allow Casey Soul then to try and capitalize on that, but they are not doing this time around. So we've had a lot of action here in the first half of this race. Casey Soul pushing Romero Perez all the way into the braking zone. Romero defends his P8 position, holds it, and gets a good launch out there anyway. With Keith Hurst now into P6. All this fighting over P6 here. Ryan Przewalski trying to hold on to the back of the grid here, or the back of the P9 position here, but keeps on getting slowdown penalties, keeps on pushing it a little too far. That's unfortunate for him. He's down in P10 and a little too far. There goes Keith Hurst, who locked up down into turn number 5 there, and down into turn number 4 there, sorry, and from P6 all the way down to P12 will get overtaken by Graham K. That is not exactly what he wanted, unfortunately. He was having a good showing there up in P6 and holding his position quite valiantly, but threw it away there, locking up the brakes, and that's all she wrote. That allows Romeo Perez to have a bit of clean air then from Casey Soul, because Case also locked up down into turn 4, if you saw that in the back of your shot. As they run away for the penultimate and then final corner. Still fighting over P6 now, from a 4-way fight down to a 3-way fight. I think Ryan possibly got himself a drive-through, not too sure, but the battle for P2, like I said earlier, might come into fruition as Keishan Hall there runs a bit wide up in P4 through turn 1. Good showing from him actually, up in P4. Indeed, in the Audi seemingly good for the straight line speed here tonight to the inside, possibly not this time from Brent Bowman. Has to stick behind Salman Saad with a 7-second lead almost in the lead. The Renault goes wide through turn 3 and that allows the Hyundai to nip to the inside and they have the overspeed and will have the inside for turn number 4. Will he be able to hold it down the inside, or will the Renault be able to hold it around the outside like we've seen so many times? No, tries to go for the cutback, couldn't quite make it stick that time, went a little too early there whilst the Hyundai was still there, wasn't able to pull it back off, but to the outside goes the number 7. 28 defends on the inside but holds his line and carries on there. Renault then, who's just been demoted from P2 down to P3, is going to be wanting to get that back, and he's got 8.5 minutes to do so. The 28 goes wide through the left-right S there, has to defend through the penultimate corner, and will he indeed, and will he? Oh, he's been overtaken way before that. Number 7 nips round the outside, takes P2 back, but we know Brent Bowman has the pace to get P2. We've just seen it there. He's been able to pull that gap back to Rene Martinez and take P2 from him. I'm sure he can do it again. Hasn't got as long though, only 8 minutes are left in this session to do so, but I'm sure he'll use every time or every minute he can get. And Keishan Hall's gained a little bit there during all of that kerfuffle, but we're going to go back to the battle for P6. Romero Perez looks to the inside for turn 1. They go side by side, then give themselves enough racing room. There's good respect there. Will that allow Case to have a better run from both of them? Indeed, it looks like it, with Case then charging their way up into, possibly into P7. Depends how these two go about it. Will she look to the inside for turn 3? No, has to back out of it, but Romero goes deep. John hits Romero whilst Romero goes deep, and it's going to be 3 wide then down this back straight here. Almost 3 wide. The Honda has a nose over the Audi, and the Audi now has a car link over the Lincoln Co. But will Case go to the middle? Indeed she does. 3 wide into turn number 4. Surely it's not going to go, and they make it work somehow. I'm surprised that worked. Case now moves up to P7, swaps places with Romero Perez, and John Zorek still somehow holds onto the P6, but round the outside, surely not, gets the rear end, drifting and into the gravel trap does Case go. That's unfortunate for them, and they're going to get stuck in the gravel trap like we've seen the others do. And actually finds a bit of tarmac there, so that's good observancy there from the 68, and rejoins safely, thankfully, just ahead of Mike Trywicki. Then loses places all the way down to P11. Yeah, try to go around the outside there. It was a good try without a doubt, but the rear just gave up, and as soon as the rears go in these cars, there's very little you can do to bring it back, especially when it's not under a normal grip load. That's just her exerting more than the force and more than the grip was giving her back, and unfortunately just broke away at that point. Very hard to regain. Number 12 getting on 2 wheels there, not as much as we've seen the others do, but a little bit of 2-wheeled action right there. 6 minutes to go. We're going to jump our way back up to the fight for second once again as Bowman goes a little bit wide there, grabs himself a slowdown penalty he'll have to deal with in a moment. Keishan Hall's gained a lot, basically. He's gained an entire second on Bowman and Martinez in the previous 2 laps. These two continuing to battle is allowing the leading Audi, and we have 4 manufacturers in the top 4 here: a Cupra, a Renault, a Hyundai, and then a Audi. So the top 4 all completely different there. It's good to see, and that's what we love about TCRs, is you can choose whichever car suits your driving style. It's going to be just as quick as all the others. Coming out through the left-right chicane, the quick chicane, not really a conventional chicane like a Monza chicane or a chicane you've seen anywhere else in karting tracks or racing tracks. Very much a sweeper, left-right sweeper, I guess you could say. It's a tricky corner indeed in most cars, trying to hook up the left-hander so you get a good exit through the right-hander, like you would with all chicanes, but this one extra difficult as you dive downhill. It's a little bit off camera and you have to then deal with the rise and the change of elevation can make the car feel a little bit unhappy. Bit of a lock up there for Martinez into turn 1. Can Bowman then use the slipstream? Let's bring up a comparison then of these two and see what their Marlin or their KPH there. So Martinez clocking up at 208 and Bowman hitting up at 213. So in the end, there's about a 5k difference between the two, and that's all due to the slipstream there, giving him a couple of extra Ks in a straight line. We know that the Renault is definitely quicker than the Hyundai normally in a straight line, so very helpful for the Hyundai to take that slipstream and close up just a little bit to the Renault. Shows on those 2 turn 4s not going to be happening that time, but the Renault goes deep anyway, so maybe that did sort of work just to scare the Renault offline. The gap 2.5 tenths for the battle for second and third. You see Keishan Hall there just in the background. He's maintaining pace, still 1.5 seconds between Bowman and Hall. He'll be sniffing if something happens between these two. Maybe he can secure a podium here. 10 seconds though, the gap between Simon Sard and René Martinez. An absolutely storming drive, an absolutely unchallenged drive from Sard, who was second in the championship, trying to hunt down his rival Romeo Perez, who's down in P7. Not a good first result for Perez here, and that's going to swing the championship wide open indeed, especially in Simon's favour. He'll close up that gap. The gap is 19 points and it's 25 for a win. Romero will probably get 12 or 14 points to that P7, so the gap will shrink by almost half then, and if he can pull that off again in the second race, the reverse grid top 10, of course Simon finishes where he is right now, he will start from P10 for the next one, and Casey Soul, who's in P10, will start from pole for the second race. Like to spice it up a little bit with our reverse grid top 10s. Like we see in normal touring car racing across the globe, doing a reverse grid is always a fun way to shake things up a little bit, and it really shows that if you are the best that weekend, you will find your way back to the front in that second race if you are as good as you say you are, as you are in the first race. A little bit deep goes the number 7. Brett Bowman had to check up there, but he'll have the inside for this little right hand that continues from the offshoot of turn 4 as we enter turn 5, 6 now. And goes deep does Martinez. To the inside goes Bowman, and that's that move done a little bit wide for the number 7. Will that allow Keishan Hall to capitalise? He's now almost within a second there, so he's been able to gain just a little bit here. True Martinez is a slight issue coming through turn 5, turn 6. So he runs down the hill into penultimate corner. We're going to switch back once again to the battle for P6. It's not over between these two. John Mazurek trying his best to get past Romeo Perez. Of course, John Mazurek is P3 in the championship, so he too is in this as well. First and third here, battling over P6 and P7. If he can get any points over Perez, he's going to take him no matter how small they are. They both dive to the inside there. Perez trying to break that switching from the 33 Renault car there. Look how the different lines are into turn 1. John was already taking a lot more of that curb and actually getting a slowdown penalty for his troubles there. Or possibly clearing that one, not too sure. You can see the different lines there. Romero running a conventional line, Wazoric running the straddle, and again he'll probably do the same here. Indeed, they both do a little bit. They straddle that curb, run 2 wheels firmly over it to the other side, and Wazoric, you see how much he's pushing right now, trying to get P6 here. Runs too far out of turn 3, but again, and there's a slight issue then for Bowman. Not sure what's happened there. Gone too deep, possibly into turn number 4 there. That's allowed René Martinez back into P2, and that's exactly what Keishan Hall wants. Like I said earlier, he may want something to happen between Martinez and Bowman. Get himself a podium position. Indeed he has, and he's half a second away from Martinez. He's within slipstream range, and that Audi is pretty quick in the straight line. Has been quick round here, it seems. This time around for Red Bull Ring. Obviously liking the straight lines and the faster flowing corners. Gordon Shedden, obviously the driver in real life, the number 52 in the World Touring Car Championships, to come out the final corner. This will be the final lap as Simon Sard has already crossed the line. As the timer ticks down 2-0, and to the inside goes Keishan Hall. He's going to take the opportunity to take P2 here. Can he dive to the inside? He does. He goes to the opportunity. takes it and neatly runs a little bit wide, but then as does Martinez anyway. And this is that sausage curve that we've seen a couple of drivers run too wide, 2 wheels over and lift those 2 wheels up into the air there. But Martinez is going to have the slipstream as they run down into turn 3. Keishan Hall defending neatly. Runs a little bit wide. No, he takes the exit of the curb perfectly there. That's exactly what we want to see for him as we run on board. I'm trying to find an onboard camera. We will take that. This will do. And as soon as he goes to the outside, then for turn 4, Keishan Hall parking the bus and can't get the undercut there this time around. You see the gaps come down a little bit between first and second. Somersault is just backed off then. His lap times reflects that as well. A little bit slower than Hall, and Martinez is backed off in the final few moments of the race there. We will then look to Mr. Somersault, who is, of course, coming through the final 2 corners then, and has won another race in dominant display here in TCR. He is mounting that challenge to Romeo Perez for the championship. Gets a little 2-wheel action then coming out the final corner, and there we go. Race 1 of round 5 goes to Somersault, but we will flick right back to Rennie Martinez, who cannot get it past Keishan Hall. P2 will go to Keishan, and then P3 to Rennie Martinez. Back to the battle for P7 then. Ryan Fleswowski's got his way past John Mazurek. Not sure how that's happened. Maybe John made a mistake trying to get past Romero. P4 will go to Bowman, P5 to David Kimona, and P6 to Perez, but across the line, will John get it from... Oh, I think he has. And indeed he does. We see the timings switch there. P7 goes to Mazurek at the line, just beaten out by a minuscule amount over Ryan. And he's going to be a little bit disappointed with that, but I'm sure John is saying all sorts of happy swear words, if that's even a thing, in the VC. Case comes along, P10. Christian Castro, P10. 11th goes to Graham K, and 12 will go to Theodore Entries, who finished a lap down, multiple laps down actually. Keith Hurst and Trowicki retiring from this race, so really hasn't gone that way for those guys tonight. Theodore Entries being one who was up in P6 or so in the championship. Yeah, a race to forget then. So Christian Castro will take the reverse grid pole. Second will be Casey Soul. Ryan will take third on the grid for race 2, and the rest has followed. P7 all the way to P1. You'll flip them around to put them behind the top 3 then, as we wait for the standings to appear. We'll get ourselves prepped for race number 2. Another 20 minutes coming up. Mic check. Okay, so we're just waiting for the server to rotate. It's taking a little bit longer than normal. I may actually just have to hop into a VC to see if so we're just waiting for the... Oh, that's just that coming up. Forgot I had that unmuted. Yeah, you might have to pop into a VC quickly to see if the server's rotating. So just typing your message to them now to see. Oh, and there we go. Oh, that took a very long time. Castro getting himself a 30-second penalty there, as we'll bring that back up for you. Here are the results then for race number 1. You see that 30-second penalty that actually gets Graham K P10 and reverse grid pole then. So he'll be very happy for that. Fastest lap going to Somersault, a 38 dead, or just nipping into the 38 deads area. That's very impressive by him. Here we go. So another 54 seconds on the clock. We'll wait for all those cars to go on the grid, and they see Case Soul taking up P2 then on the grid, and there is Evan Gramke on the pole position for the reverse grid top 10. So we've got 40 seconds on the clock for everyone to get themselves on the grid. If they don't make it, then they'll start from the pit road, and that ain't going to be ideal for them. There's going to be another cracking race, and there we go, they're all on the grid then. So we'll have a look at Graham K as he will start us off then for the next 20-minute slot of TCR Racing Race 2, the reverse grid top 10. Graham K on the pole position, gets a good launch there, as does Soul and Ryan. The top 3 getting away nicely. Wazoric looking to challenge though immediately from Ryan's 3rd place, and the round she goes, up and over, and that is some interesting physics. The 33 car having to avoid Casey Soul's upside down car, and that gifts Ryan to P2. These two will go hammer and tongue then into turn 3. They've got a bit of a gap then to Perez, and here comes the rest of the field in the back of your shot. Case should get rated, and they righted, and there you go in the back of the shot. Oh, Przewalski almost does exactly the same there coming into turn 3. Everyone needs to calm down a little bit, a bit more tranquilo when we go to the start of these races, because we've had 1 complete roll and like 4 almost rolls now. They just need to calm it down a little bit. But thankfully Case has been able to get going again. The game has just reset her, and 5 seconds away from Keith Hurst. But the fact that everyone battles so hard on these opening laps, she'll catch that time up in no time without a doubt. But here come the top 4 then. Graham K, Przewalski, Perez and Martinez, your top 4, breaking a little bit away then from Bowman, who's under pressure from Wazoric there in the background. This is where Perez needs to shine. He needs to win this race to maintain his championship lead. It'll be interesting to see what Salmasol does. He's up to P8 already, gained 2 places at the start there. He's going to be charging up the field. He's got 20 minutes to make that charge, and be sure he can do that. 1st and 3rd there, running wide, and running even wider is Gramke again out the final corner. There goes Ryan to the inside, and then goes Perez, who's also got the overspeed. He'll have the inside for turn 1 to get P2 away from the 69 car. That Soul Alfa Romeo down the inside gets it, pushes Gramke out a little wide, but all's fair is fair. There's a bit of contact in the background there between Keith Hurst and David Kimona. Graham K shuffled down to P3 then, and we'll see what Perez can do. Perez, like we say, needs to win this race to continue his fight for the championship. Tries to go down the inside of Ryan at the first opportunity, couldn't get it done, and then backs all the others up. This 5-way train then, as Wazoric has been able to catch up to that then. Bowman slipping down the order. There's a bit of a gap between Wazoric and Keishan Hall. You see Keishan Hall there in the background, having to defend from Sold and Bowman. As to the outside goes Graham K, can't make it stick and runs the wheels in the gravel. This could lead interesting for these guys. Here comes Salmazad up to P7, got his way past Brent Bowman, looks to the outside, can't do it. Keishan goes wide and to the inside, and 3-1. Is it going to go? Fiederansbury gets cut off there and to the inside, and got the inside move done on Keishan all up to P6. 4 positions made in the first 2 laps. Keishan isn't giving up though. He's going to have the overspeed on exit. Will he be able to dive it to the outside? Possibly. Keishan looking to the outside. Somersault going defensive, but then moves back over to racing line. No, he isn't going to be able to make a move, and indeed he doesn't. Not this time around. Back to Linus Stern for the final 2 corners here as they come out the final corner. And there's Gramke. He's had a Bit of a torrid lap there from leading all the way down to P5. Not ideal for him. He's already under pressure from Sard. Will he look to the inside? Immediately he did. He needs to get past him. Indeed he does. Dives to the inside. GRG just lets him through. But someone goes extremely wide to make that move happen. Keishan Hall going down the inside as well, getting that move done. So I was going to have to deal with that slowdown penalty at some point. Back to the front then. Romero Perez has taken the lead, but will he hold on to it? Przewalski looking to the outside, can't get it done, but then he can on the switchback if Perez runs wide, and if he hadn't run wide, he would have kept that position. Pushing too hard is the Argentinian here, trying to maintain his championship lead, and there goes Ryan, the Canadian, the sole Canadian against the sole Argentinian here. Battling over first and second. Zoric and Martinez, those two were battling early on in race 1. They go side by side almost again, the two leading Renaults there, the 33 and the 33 and the number 7 there. Apologies, it's Theodore Ensry who runs the 34 car. See, Sol is now just a couple of seconds away from Kimona, so he's caught up that 6-second deficit pretty quickly. So she is not completely on her own, back to fighting for some points there. GRG trying to claw back the time he's lost in the opening laps there. We do see that sometimes in the reverse grid polls, that those who come in the lower end of the top 10, so the 8th, 9th and 10th, when they get put on pole, they do sometimes get eaten up by those who finished high up in the first race and have started a bit further back and claw their way up the field. That certainly happened to Evan GRG tonight, unfortunately for him. Under pressure slightly from Bowman. Bowman we know was pretty quick in race 1. He's fallen down to P9, down to P8 as well, so unfortunate for him. Keith Hurst there in the background. Another two-wheeled moment there for Mike Trowicki, and the other Renault, the other Audi there, the 52 car there, Keishan Hall, running wider, doing exactly the same as what Simon Sol did the lap before. Back at the front though, it is a four-way fight here for the lead. Look at these cars, they're squabbling all over the place. Ryan holds the lead and maintains it. Perez, we know, is quick. He's also the championship leader, and you can't be that without being quick. So can he use that pace to his advantage? It looks like it. Down to the inside he goes. Turn number 4, runs too wide. Ryan says, I'll take that back. Thank you very much. John gets past Martinez, or at least holds on to P3 from Martinez. Indeed, the 33 car holding off the number 7 car. Once again, Perez still, he's able to make those moves, but he's just diving too deep into each corner. Isn't able to get the car stopped, get that move completed. It's taken the lead for all of about 12 meters before having it snatched back by another car. Once again, top 4 fight. Pushing on, and the way these guys are holding each other up, there's Salman Sol, there's Keishan Hall, there's Bowman actually there in the background who's got down past the inside of GRG. GRG down into P8 now. Behind his NAR eSports teammate there, Theodore Ensry. Will there be some team orders here to let Theodore through? Theodore's normally a little bit quicker, but has been struggling here tonight. We'll see whether or not that comes into place. Keith Hurst on the outside then. Got a good run out the final corner of Mike Trowicki. No, Christian Castro actually, number 33, and sweeps around the outside. That's a very good move there, albeit ran a little bit wide to do so. Good move there by Keith Hurst. Romero Perez trying to charge down the inside. Will he go for the inside move again? He's trying to look for him. Maybe that's actually a defense then from John Mazoric. No, goes to the inside, gets that done. They're going to go side by side, but the number 12 will have a better line out the exit of the corner and be able to hold on to P1. Slipstream of the Honda it is getting, and looks to the inside. Ryan defends that anyway, puts his car in the middle of the track, moves back to the racing line and swoops around the corner completely normally. The top 4 still coming, but there's Salman Styles. He'll be coming 2.5 seconds away, the difference between P4 and P5. Well, Salman's trying to catch up, but he's under pressure from Keishan Hall, who's going to the inside at turn number 6 here. Runs up the curb. Keishan giving him the squeeze, or getting himself squeezed from Salman Styles. Salman holds on to P5, and this is exactly what he needs. We're already 8 minutes through the second race here. He needs to be let go of Keishan Hall's grasp here, so he can charge up to Martinez and the rest of the top 4 here. But every time he has to defend, it's more time he's losing here to those top 4. There's a big amount of tire spoke there. I thought someone may have looped it there, but no, they carry on. Here goes John Zorek to the inside at turn 1. Has to fire back in. He's not close enough this time around. Look at Ryan. He's got a bit of a gap here. 7 or so attempts coming across the line there. This battling is allowing him to stretch away. And you can see Somersault 4.1. He's actually lost about half a second on that lap just for having to defend from Keishan Hall. This is exactly what I was saying about in the first race. You have to maintain your momentum. You lose so much time battling here as Razoric goes wide and deep through turn 3. It's a little bit of contact with the number 7 car when rejoining, but carries on. As this four-way fight is spread out a little bit, Ryan giving himself a second gap there to Romero Perez, who'll like that very much. Almost breaking the slipstream barrier, which is good as well. What hasn't been broken though is Keishan Hall's grasp on the back of Somersault. Looks to the outside this time, trying to do the opposite of what we did the lap before. That's not going to work this time for Keishan Hall, the number 6, or in 6th place now, the leading Audi here. 2nd place Audi is Mike Sharwicki down in P10 at the moment, but good on his debut here in TCRs in the RaceRoom category, or RaceRoom and the TCR category of RaceRoom. There you go, swap those two around. Let's come through the penultimate corner a little bit wide. Do you see that tyre smoke? Gets lit up by the rear end of the cars that get dragged through it almost. The front wheel drive natures of all these cars clawing at the front like little teeth, or like little T-Rex arms, trying to grab the car and bring it through each corner. And there's a bit of contact through turn 1. Keishan Hall running into the back of Somersault, missed his braking point, dove to the inside to try and avoid him, made contact, got 2 wheels up on the curb, but that's dropped him back by half a second, and maybe that's what someone just needs to break away and try and catch up to the top 4. What he needs though is that slipstream to enable him to do so, but there's been a little bit of skewing somewhere. There's more skewing here. I'm not quite sure what the word skewing is, but I'm going to keep on using the word skewing like it's a word in the vocabulary that I definitely possess. Keishan Hall trying to get past it. There's a bit of side by side, a bit of a love tap between the two, a lock up of Keishan Hall down into turn number 5, as we'll have a look then on the bonnet cam of Keishan Hall. And my god, is this camera loud. That's why I don't use it all so often, because it is ever so loud, and a bit of too much curb then for Salmon, and that's allowed Keishan Hall to dive down to the inside. Let's have a look at this from Brent's perspective. He's going to be absolutely loving this for sure. As there goes Salmon across the curb and gathers it up though, thankfully enough for him. You got I think a little bit of a tap, but to the outside goes the number 7. Will he be able to slide it around the outside? Indeed he does. Theodore Ensbury round the outside. Good move by him there to take P7 away from Salmon, dropping down the order. We're having an inverse here. Romero Perez up at the front, Somersault down at the back here, with Razoric in the middle in both times. So this is going to be really interesting for the championship fight here, how that shapes up. So we're way past the halfway point now, just under 8 minutes to go here. That's about 5 or 6 laps here at the Red Bull Ring. 1.5 minute laps here, 1 minute 40 laps. They're pretty quick. Obviously being quite a short circuit to the inside goes Somersault. Gets the undercut on Theodore Ensbury. We should have the inside all the way down to turn number 4, but Renault has the straight line speed and the run off the exit to keep him there, but there goes Keith Hurst to the outside at number 99, but down to the inside goes to 22 anyway. Sard looks to the inside, a little bit of rubbing, gets closed off there by Theodore Ensbury. Will he be able to hold it around the outside? We saw Casey Soul try to do that in the Lincoln Coda on the previous race, wasn't able to do it and ran herself into the gravel. Indeed, Salmon unable to do it. Keeps it on the track though, thankfully, but there goes the 99 down the inside. That's the invitation that he needs to get that move done. They're going to run by side here. Keith Hurst will be on the outside then in the green version of the Cupra, the grade version of the Cupra. On the inside is Salmon Sard, the 22. Teammates here side by side through the penultimate corner. A little bit of contact there as they rub on each other. push their way through the corner, and someone holds onto it for now, trying to fight back those key first. Both of them running wide. A little bit of contact, a bit more contact there. Having to avoid is Keith Hurst, runs himself onto the grass. P10 there in the background, and also in number 22 is Mike Trowicki. He's having a good show here. To the inside goes Keith Hurst, spooks somersault off the racing line. That should allow Mike Trowicki to have a good run. Indeed, he does. To the outside, he'll be down into turn 3. Already has the overlap on the 99. But will he fight back? Indeed, the green and black Cupra fights back. Can he get the switch back? Tries it, then moves to the outside and won't be able to make that move happen this time. Again, back to the front though. Once again is Ryan, who's been able to hold off Romero for a very long time here. Entire 3/4 of the race, 5.5 minutes to go here. And he's been holding valiantly off the championship leaders. A very respectable drive here so far by the Canadian in the VW Golf, which isn't really, a lot of people say, isn't exactly the most ideal car here. In most TCR tracks, a lot of the cars are quicker, like the Renault or the Cupra. It's a bit of a left field choice is the VW, but Ryan's making it work for him. It's very impressive indeed. He's been hounded all the way by the longer wheel-based Honda. Has to go defensive to the inside. Should keep on going defensive. No, he stopped going defensive. That's allowed Romero to take the inside here. Doesn't have the speed over the VW, which I'm surprised about. Maybe a bit more of a higher downforce, but to the outside he goes. They rub their way through, side by side through turn 1. An excellent opportunity has been taken there by Perez to switch from inside to the outside. I don't think Ryan was expecting that. They're going to go side by side then. Will they be able to go 2x2 through turn 3? It's a little harder. It's more of a 100-degree corner as opposed to an 80-degree corner. Much tighter, much slower here. Ryan should be able to hold on. Indeed, he does. Cuts off the nose of Romero Perez and isn't able to advance his position this time around. 4.5 minutes though. About 3 laps left. Romero's going to have a few more chances here to take P1 away from Ryan here. And to the outside he goes. Will he be able to hold on to it? Indeed he does. Will he get squeezed out? He might get squeezed out a little bit, but if you can hold that outside line through the right-hander, you'll be able to keep it for the left-hander. Not this time. Has to switch back in, but Ryan goes deep anyway through the left-hander, and that gives Romero Perez the lead. Ryan's going to be kicking himself for that one, without a doubt, and already under pressure is Ryan from Rene Martinez and John Mazurek. Both the runners there, still third and fourth. They switched places, actually. Obviously, John Mazurek having a bit of an issue earlier on, gifting third place to Rene Martinez, but he's since caught back up. He's top 4, really slowed themselves down here, but Keishan Hall not being able to capitalize on that. 5.5 seconds away from John Mazurek. Brent Bowman right on his tail. Someone down to P9. He's been overtaken by Mike Trowicki. Look at all 4 of them dive to the inside, all trying to take that slipstream. Romero trying to break that, but all 4 following suit here to go into turn 1 for one of the final times. We're coming to the end there. Deep is Ryan, and where has he gone? Extremely far, completely off my screen there. From first down to 4th in less than the space of a lap there. Really not Ryan's wanting to see, and he's dropped quite far away from Rene Martinez, and John was always actually been able to get through past Rene there. During the meantime, I think Rene getting a bit spooked by whatever Ryan did, Mason his breaking point as well. That's given the gap to Perez, which is exactly what he needs. At the moment, he's been under pressure, or been trying to put the pressure on Ryan for so long, has finally cracked him and given him first, and there's the reward of doing so. Down the inside goes Rene Martinez. Gets the nose chopped off by Razorek, isn't able to make that move this time around. We'll have the inside for this little right-hander, but John will have the overspeed and then the inside for the left-hander. That'll allow him to keep the position if he keeps it stable, which he does. There, Rene Martinez using all the curb and a little bit more. Trying to get something back on John Mazurek there. 2 Renaults battling over second and third now. And there is Ryan. He's still there, maintaining pace, and we know he's quick. He's been leading the race for most of the race. To be honest and to be fair to him, it's been a good drive for Ryan. He will be kicking himself at the end of this if he finishes in the place he is right now after leading for such a long time. A 1 minute 40 lap here. as they come across the line. They'll come across the line with 1 minute 42. So this is going to be very close. It was a 1 minute 38 there by Perez. They came across the line. It'll be very close to see whether or not he extends it by another lap, or if he can try and back him up a little bit, possibly, and try and force this as the final lap. I assume we'll go for one more after this. Battle for 5th is getting a little bit lively there. Keishan Hall holding off Brent Bowman and Theodore Ensbury here, with Mike Trowicki up to P8. In the background there, Sam Sal down in P9 and a very long way away from P8. That is the best he'll be getting unless something happens to anyone else up ahead of him. So have a look at Bowman then, who's in P6, trying to get P5 away from Keishan Hall. Keishan Hall have been pretty quick this weekend. Should be able to hold on to Bowman, but Bowman himself too has been equally as quick, and we'll see where their strengths lie in this track here as the Audi goes defensive. A little bit unnecessarily, he was sort of far enough ahead anyway, but felt like he had to do that anyway. Przewalski getting down the inside of Martinez there. And will he run a little bit wide? He does. Martinez is going to dive to the inside again. Left-hander gets the nose cut off, round the other side, goes round to swoop there. Doesn't put a wheel in the grass and cuts off the number 7. You have to go defense there, as there's only 20 seconds left on the clock here. We'll have to see whether or not Perez holds on for one more lap, or this is the last one. A little bit deep though is Ryan, and there he goes. Will he allow Martinez to get the inside? No, he won't. We'll look to Romero to see if this is the final lap or not, as he will cross the line in time with 4 seconds to go. One more lap. Here we go. Who will hold on to the podium position? Will it Ryan? Will it be Ryan, or will it be Rene? That's the main battle right here. Romero Perez has a 1.5 second lead over Wazorek, so unless he makes a mistake, he should have this one done and dusted. But Rene Martinez is right up in the bumper, right up in the grill then of Rene Przewalski then. Rene, no, that's combining 2 names there. Ryan here, 2 R's. Getting me a little bit confused here early in the morning. It is 2 AM, so you'll have to bear with. Bit of contact there. Rene smacking into the rear of the VW there for seemingly no reason, but side does it anyway. Keishan Hall also under pressure, and pressure he has succumbed to Dak to the inside. Will he be able to take P5 back from Brent Bowman? That's obviously just been taken from him. Dives to the inside. Will he get it stopped in time? He does indeed. Leans on the 28 just a little bit, but gets that move done. P5 is back for Keishan Halls. We'll jump back to Rene Martinez, who's trying to get past then the number 12 car, the British flagged donned VW Golf, as he pushes the VW all the way through that left-hander. Isn't able to get past. Ryan is going to be holding the defensive line for as long as he can. Indeed, look at them chopping and changing directions here. To the outside goes Rene. Not going to be able to happen this time. Will he be able to switch back and get the cutback for the inside? Not this time. Ryan holds onto it, but goes deep and runs wide, and that should be it for Rene Martinez. We have a look then. Romero Perez wins, across the line, comes and takes P1. Wazorek will take P2, and across the line, Ryan this time holds on to P3, but only just. Bit of a role reversal with John Wazorek taking Ryan Przewalski at the end in the first lap there. Ryan will hold on to P3, P4 to Rene, P5 just about to Keishan Hall by Brett Bowman and Theodore Ensbury. P8 will go to Mike Trowicki, and P9 Somersault, he's not going to be happy with that one whatsoever. Dave Kimona down in P10, and Christian Castro holds on to P11 then. He dives his way to wherever Kay's crashing her car. P12 and Graham Kay, who's already left the server, or left the race into the pit road, in P13. Keith Hurst in P14. Not a good run for him in both races there. Look at that car spinning. Let's find a car that is not spinning. Okay, please, a car? Nope. There we go. It's gonna have to be Case, because she's the only one on track that isn't falling through the earth. Oh dear. But there we go. That will wrap up then both races here in the GRG TCR Cup. Like you see on your banner there, Thursdays at 8 PM ET. This was round 5 out of 8, which means we still have 3 more weeks of racing here, guys. If you want to get involved with it, come hop into the Discord. The links are in the bottom right there, at GRG eSports for your Twitter, invite.gg/GRG eSports, all lowercase, all one word, for your Discord invite. If you don't want to do that, you can go straight to the website, www.grgesports.com. Everything is there the Facebook, the Insta, not the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Discord, the YouTube, and the Twitch there, as well as all the sign-up forms and all the skin packs and all the information you need to join us in future events. I've been Dom, I've been your commentator today. I'm a little bit annoyed I wasn't driving in this, but it's been fun to commentate nonetheless. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you guys next time.